Dayton's news source. This is Fox 45 in the morning.
And an awesome story here. An ex-con turned CEO. We'll talk to the author about his amazing life story coming up. Thanks, Rhonda. 8:19 now on this Monday morning. You know, these days it seems like it's difficult for anyone to get ahead, let alone someone with a felony criminal record. But for those who truly do feel reformed and want to turn their lives around, our next guest is living proof that it can be done. He's author of the book Slaying the Dragon, From the Dungeon to the Ivory Tower, and his name is David Koch. He joins us here in the studio this morning. David, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for helping to spread the message.
I know your story is nothing short of amazing. Maybe folks might be familiar with the classic movie War Games.
Right.
With Broderick.
Right.
And I'm thinking here of, he was one of the people back in the day when people were first getting into computers, the government had the computers and everything, and he got on and logged on, not because he wanted to start World War III, but because he thought it was cool. You kind of had a similar story.
Right. Intriguing, interesting, intellectually curious, that computers were accessible. Not necessarily a larcenous greed type of motivation. But nevertheless, I was in my early 20s, 20 or 21, and took a bunch of money that didn't belong to me and ended up serving time in federal and state prison.
Now, ironically, using technology in its infancy and the computers and things like that, ultimately, I know you became CEO of a company that essentially laid the infrastructure for the internet in North America, but obviously that was a long road to get to. When it came to re-entry into, I guess, maybe the real world, what are some of the many obstacles? I mean, I know for many, if you've committed a felony, many jobs are even off limits.
Well, when I re-entered, I had simply made a decision that I'm taking a new path. And that's what people need to do, and they need to be willing to appreciate the fact that a felony conviction, if that's their most recent event in their life, that's how they're going to be judged. So they have to be willing to take that job that nobody else wants to at least get started. It's not forever, but at least it gets them going in the right direction. Well, that's what I did. My first job was scrubbing floors and washing airplanes and cutting grass, and it was no glamorous job.
But I know since then becoming a flight instructor, like all these other jobs, like up along the way, how did you recognize these opportunities when they presented themselves? I'm sure that'd be a big part.
Well, because I was out there. I think that opportunity presents itself all the time, but you do have to be out there hunting, working. If you're sitting home, sitting on your couch, you're not going to find any opportunities.
So what is the biggest barrier, would you say, to someone who's re-entering the world after being in the system?
Well, I think there are some barriers which are now being addressed, particularly in Ohio. Ohio has a real lead role in eliminating a lot of the barriers with House Bill 130 that was passed just recently. And the biggest barrier is belief, simply believing that if you go out and you put forth the effort, it's not going to be an exercise in futility, that you are, in fact, going to be able to have a perfectly normal life. You know, I have achieved everything in life that I have wanted, and the felony convictions have not held me back from anything. I've even gotten into, I have a real estate license in Ohio, which was a restricted area, but I got a waiver, but I didn't apply for it the day I got out of prison.
Right.
I applied for it 10 years after I had already established some other...
Well, David Koch, I have to say, I mean, the book is a great read. The journey along the way is just incredible. And congratulations again on your successes.
Thank you.
And best of luck with the book as well. If you'd like to check out David Koch's book, Slaying the Dragon, just head to our website, Dayton'sNewsSource.com, and click on News Links. It's 8:23 right now on your Monday morning.